As a little bit to the Enneagram, which is a central aspect of your work.
Before you
Yes.
continue with that question, let me address the language issue. I don't like the word Enneagram.
Mm-hmm.
It is a stamp of the divulgators, of the people who didn't get it from the horse's mouth, as the Americans say, or the English, I don't know who used that expression first. Like Oscar Ichazo transmitted something he called proto-analysis, which was the application of the Enneagram to personality. And because that was a trademark word, because he patented it, I could not use proto-analysis. So when I did my first course, from where the Jesuits got it and from where Helen Palmer indirectly got it, and more indirectly Riso and other people, when I did that first SAT group, I didn't call it, I'm teaching the Enneagram. Mm-hmm. When I had to give it a name, which was later, in retrospect, when people were beginning to circulate and even beginning to publish the notes who took from what I presented, then I coined the phrase psychology of Enneatypes to distinguish it Enneagram, because according to the Gurdjieff teaching, the Enneagram is a universal map which is not psychological, not essentially psychological, it's mathematical. It has to do with numbers, it has to do, there are 9, what do you call it, irrational, not just, E and pi, and how do you call those numbers? There's 9 big numbers in mathematics that are, and 9 constants in the cosmos. It's very mysterious, this number 9. Why 9 planets in our solar system? That's one application of the Enneagram. Mm-hmm. Gurdjieff said he could explain the alkaloids of opium from using the Enneagram. There are 40-some alkaloids in opium. Probably 49, I don't know. So I don't know I'm not an expert in the Enneagram, and nobody who uses the word Enneagram today is an expert in the Enneagram. People are repeaters of some things that filtered from my original group in Berkeley about psychological application of the Enneagram. And that I got my inspiration from Ichazo, who didn't call it Enneagram. So somehow it is a kind of misinformation to talk about the Enneagram as the Enneagram where that. The traditional claim, and it's only one tradition that has the Enneagram information, is not part of ordinary Sufism, is not part of Christianity. Some people have looked and they say it seems that Raimondo Luglio's approximated the Enneagram because it had 3 triangles intertwined in a circle. But there is a specific tradition, it's a particular school which Gurdjieff was connected to, and Ichazo was connected to, and I've had some connections to. And this particular school has this like a stamp, the Enneagram, and it's not psychological. You can read Gurdjieff, you said many applications of this Enneagram have nothing to do with psychology proper. So I object, and I prefer my work to be, when people say, do the introductory courses, they are called Introduction to the Psychology of Enneatypes. Mm-hmm. Like, I prefer to say, it's like some people say this is trademark, or like a stamp of that authenticity, that it's not called Enneagram. Mm-hmm. So that's a side comment. And now, if you want me to become known in a world of people who are eager for more Enneagram, I don't object that you do a marketing strategy, but in intimate conversation, I want to make that point, that it's a kind of sign of lack of culture.
In parentheses, now we have the answer. We put the psychology of Enneatypes and the
okay. Okay, yeah.
So,
Yes.
So it gives people already this idea.
Yes. Yeah, psychology of Enneatypes saying that this is the elaboration of what Oscar Ichazo called proto-analysis, and it's the application of the Enneagram to personality.
And this is what we can say, what you really developed in your life, and what you put into your work, and what people benefit today if they go through these programs. And how can this way of working with the psychology of Enneatypes help in this what we have to do, what we have to develop and to evolve?
I wish I knew. But first of all, I'd like to say it works beyond what I know. There are things that work in ways that go beyond our understanding. My experience is that I teach people who are psychoanalysts, and they tell me they do better psychoanalysis. I teach people who do Gestalt therapy, and they become better Gestalt therapists. I have taught some people who do cognitive psychology, and they become better cognitive psychologists. Some people are Jesuits, and they say they become better Jesuits. The Benedictines have adopted it because they find it becomes useful in the spiritual guidance. I started doing this without a contention saying this is the way. I would rather taking the opposite view, that this is just one ingredient in my program. I'm trying to be integral, I'm trying to do what Gurdjieff proposed as when he spoke of the fourth way. This is supposed to be the way of action, plus the way of knowledge, plus the way of devotion, the way of feelings, and this fourth way, which is a way of attention, and all together, and this integral way, holistic we're calling it nowadays, this holistic way, I would say, contains this map, this bit of information. But as time goes by, and many decades have gone by, I cannot but be impressed by the fact that people considered it the center. They're saying, this has changed my life more than anything, my life is before and after this understanding of my character, my personality. How does it work? I would say it works like self-awareness does. When you understand yourself, something needs to change. Only that it's an awareness of something very essential. It's like when in the fairy tales there is a bad guy, there's the horned king, for instance, and the hero has to defeat the horned king in the land of the dead. And some wise man says, you have to find his name. He has a secret name, you find the name, he'll be yours. So I think it's like that, and we have to find the name of the enemy. We have to find the essential quality. And the doctrine of, the Christian doctrine of the sins, that Gregory the Great, the Pope Gregory, systematized as 7, but were more originally. It seems there were 9. And so subtypes are more precise in narrowing. If you read Theophrastus, I'm carrying now this very ancient work that Aristotle's follower Theophrastus wrote a book called The Characters. And actually the word that he uses translates as the traits. It's certain features. And what he describes as subtypes rather than types. Because if you describe a good portrait of somebody, it's not just a type. That's an abstraction. It's more a more precise narrowing down. Canetti also. Canetti's book describes very good pictures of some subtypes. So it's easier self-recognition, and sometimes the issue in the subtype is as important as the traditional sin, like fear, cowardice. Yes, it's very important to recognize one's cowardice, but especially in Germany, sense of duty. Duty can be more binding, can be more striking as a compulsive aspect of life.